Hello and welcome to me playing Brothers in Arms, Road to Hill 30. This is probably one of my favorite games I've ever played. It's really good writing and stuff. Let's get started. We're gonna play on... Let's play on difficult. Authentic, it's hard.
Something to me after the divorce. He said every soldier has two families. Those you raise, and those you raise hell with. I've spent 8 days here. 8 days commanding a squad I wasn't ready to lead. 8 days watching my men, my family, be killed. 8 days wishing it would stop.
That's Troy Baker, by the way. Yeah, back when he was less popular. So, contrary to how this game begins, this is not like your typical war game. It's not just about popping enemies behind cover and hiding behind it. There's actually a bit more to it. They started out this way, you know, to like, you know, with the intention of interesting people, I guess. But as we get further into the game, you'll see that it is a lot more than just shooting other guys as they shoot at you. For anyone that is a fan of Band of Brothers, they will definitely like this game. It obviously took a lot of inspiration from it. And it definitely shows. This was made by Gearbox. This was before they made Borderlands, actually. After they made the expansions to Half-Life, the original Half-Life games. So, I want to say this is the first game that was ever made by them that wasn't like a used license, and it was really good. Like, and it's a real shame the multiplayer. The multiplayer was so unique and really awesome, but they don't have that up anymore. It ran off a GameSpy service, and after that went down, well, now you can't play it. And I guess you could play LAN, but that means you'd have to have 3 other friends that actually play it if you wanted to play it. And you would control, just like in the single player, you would control squads and you would use the mechanics of the game. It was more about outthinking your opponent rather than outshooting them, because you could be like totally the best shooter in the game. It didn't matter if someone knew how to like outsmart you. This game, if I remember correctly, came out in 2004. Still looks pretty good. There's a lot of other games that came out around that time that don't look that good. There's a lot of games that have come out even now that don't have as good as writing, I would even say. But that's just me. Yes, this was one of those games where it proved that you could have a World War II game but it could be something completely different. I am playing on the PC, obviously, as you could tell right there with my mouse. I'll try not to talk over character dialogue, by the way, so I'll be quiet for a bit right here.
I never asked to be squad leader, but I had no choice. Now I've got 13 soldiers under my command. 13 men depending on me to make the right decisions and not get them killed. 13 families relying on me to bring their husbands and sons home. 13. 13 is not a lucky number. Stand up! Hook up! Check your equipment! Remember, this squad sticks together! Once you hit the ground, find Baker! Sound off! 12 okay! Get the hell out of here! We gotta jump, son! We wait for the green light! We wait any longer, there won't be a fucking green light! Baker! Stand in the door! I never asked to be squad leader.
And away we go. Right into Normandy. This stuff was so cool back in the day. Like, this is one of those games where I almost want there to be a remake, because I know that they would do a lot of stuff more in-game. But I also like it just the way it is, so. Yeah. So, one of the really cool things about this game that made it really different from a lot of war games, especially World War II games, is that they actually went on location and got documents together and all this other really neat stuff that... Here, I'll be quiet for...
Baker, where the hell's all your gear? Oh, shit. Take my 45 and shoot anything that's wearing gray.
Alright, so now we got a Colt. Sweet. So, yeah, they went on location. They actually talked to a lot of people. They interviewed a lot of people. There was a lot of respect handled in this game, even though they were trying to make a, like a war drama game. But it was neat.
I'm gonna try and figure out where the hell we are.
Hey, Mac, why don't you share what's on the map? I would like to know.
Where the hell we are.
Maybe I do if you let me see it.
Stay here with all these crowds about.
But, yeah.
Let's move, Baker.
Alright. I guess we'll move. Yeah. Gosh, that must smell real bad. Yeah, but this is
I'll cross first. Cover me.
um,
Flash. Thunder.
oh dear God, you scared me.
Oh shit. Baker. I thought it was lost. Quiet.
Yeah. Some.
Voice down, the whole goddamn German army will show up. There'll be plenty of time to reminisce later.
I love this part. It's pretty funny.
Anybody know where we are?
No idea.
I'll find out. Stay put. Hello, je suis American. Americans. What town is this? Any of y'all know French? I can't understand a goddamn word she's jabbering.
I speak a bit, sir.
Then get your ass over here, son.
Pouvez-vous nous dire où nous sommes? She says we're just northeast of St. Mary-Église.
Damn it. Well, we're heading the wrong direction. I'm gonna see if I can gather some more guys. Y'all head that way, through the gate, and link up with anyone else you find as you head east. Stay alive. That's an order.
Yes, sir. So, one of the really neat things about this game, too, back in, like, nowadays this means absolutely nothing, because nowadays every developer should be doing this, or...
start to notice the quirks a person has when you think he might be dead in a week. I remember the first time I saw Leggett. It was in the breakfast tent. He was cutting a hard-boiled egg into small pieces with a knife, like ham. It occurred to me at this point I'd never in my 23 years of existence seen a man cut an egg into slices like that. I don't know why I remember that.
I keep forgetting about these monologues, so it's not a good time to start
There's
talking.
an AA gun over there. We have to take it out.
Are you gonna pay for that? You just broke our damn gate.
Like it? Shove a sock in it.
Dude, that would be like $5. But one of the cool things about this game back in the day was that they made all the character models unique. You didn't... I'm just going back here to see what happens. I realize I've never ever walked backwards. I've always followed the story. But they made all the character models unique. They didn't just slap faces on a default model and then call it good. And then the other thing is they didn't just slap face textures on everything either. They actually made the faces part of the models, so it was a lot more unique. Nowadays, yeah, they do that all the time. So, another neat thing about this game eventually, where this one came out, and it was, say it was a minor success. It wasn't, people wouldn't consider it a AAA title at the time, because not everyone was playing or talking about it. And they made a sequel. This one's Road to Hill 30. The sequel was called Earned in Blood, and you played as another character in the same squad. You'll meet him up later.
Baker, get down. Stand by
So,
fire. Don't fire till I...
yeah, you saw a lot of different perspectives. So here's the gameplay mechanics put in action, where you see this red circle above the enemies. That's not their health, no, that is their suppression. So you put down some fire, and it turns gray, which means then they'll hide behind cover. And as long as you keep fire on them, they will stay behind cover and panic, whatever you will. And now we have AI right now. Yep, he just flanked around using the haystacks. And so this is a tutorial portion of the game where they're teaching you all this. In the actual game, I will eventually have control of the people that I'm with, so that I can strategically suppress with teams and flank with others, and this is where Brothers in Arms was like really cool. Yeah, see, the Germans actually have good shots, so you can't just run around. You actually have to use cover. I am out of ammo. This is bad. I hope Leggett can take them out.
Another down.
Oh. Maybe I can try and... No, it's on fire over there. Oh, God. Oh, there we go. Alright, took you long enough, Leggett.
I don't see any more.
I hope not. Alright, got myself a rifle now.
Poor bastards. We should help them. Maybe there's still some alive.
I'm pretty sure no one's alive in that.
There's nothing we can do.
But Sarge.
I don't hear...
Keep moving, Leggett.
We would hear screaming as if people were still alive. Like, you're very delusional. There's no one alive. So yeah. I mean, there were other, there were other tactical games back in the day, of course. You know, there was Ghost Recon and Rainbow Six and such, but they never really had a suppression mechanic. The strategy was mostly in, get those angles by using cover and nothing more. While this game, they actually had it where bullets meant something to the enemy. They didn't just shrug it off. They didn't just say, "Oh, I'm being shot at," and then continue shooting at you. They actually reacted. It's pretty neat, I think. There's a lot of games that I play nowadays where it's very frustrating when you're shooting at enemies, like a hail of bullet at enemies, and they'll pop their head out, and it's like, what were you thinking? So, got some enemies here. Try and get an angle on them before we engage. Now, you're gonna see a lot of times, because they purposely made it where the weapons were not exactly where you aimed, so that you didn't just you didn't just turn it into a duck shooting gallery game where you crouch, uncrouch, shoot at them, whatever. They actually made they purposely had it where weapons were inaccurate. Some people would say that's stupid. I say, well, it's a game design so that you play the game right. Because the problem with Hell's Highway, which was the third game of the series, was they made it where the bullets went exactly where you aimed. And then your squad was absolutely useless then, because you're just like, oh, I'll just like pop everyone off from behind cover. Oh, they're already shooting at us. Come on, guys. Let's see here. Is there any way yeah, I can so.
Get around them! We have to get a flank on them!
Whoa! Suddenly there's like 5 of them. I will admit that the AI is a little bit... They're on trails quite a bit. As much as I like how the AI reacts, because in this one, they didn't have it figured out yet, but in even Earned in Blood, which came out a year later, they figured out how to make it where the AI would actually react to your flanking, and that they would actually shift where they were. And this one, mostly the AI is they set up at some place, and that's where they stay. Like, so it was a little bit more of a puzzle-based game, in like the faintest sense, but the later ones they became a little bit more active, which was pretty neat. So let's come over here.
We can't stop to rest now. The 4ID is coming up through Utah Beach. There are Germans all over that area. Let's move.
Let's move. All right. So let's go through one more chapter, and I will call it a day, which is more than we can say for our heroes.
In the plane, just before we jumped, I finally came to the conclusion that I had to swallow my fears, take charge and lead these men. It seems fate has a dark sense of humor. I'm a man with hell standing between me and my men. No matter. Not even hell will stop me.
I got word from another platoon that some of our boys dropped in this area. Krauts were nice enough to flood it for us as a welcoming gift.
Sure as shit isn't gonna be easy finding them out here. Unless, of course, they find us. Is that Red?
This Krauts all over.
Whoa!
I think I saw a mortar team just back there.
Where'd you come from, man?
Jesus, it's great to see you guys. I spent this morning in a ditch full of water.
You're
I
lying.
got one. Picked him off as he sipped his morning Joe. Did I mention it was great to see you guys?
No, you didn't.
The landings are scheduled for 0630, so there's no time to lose. Baker, you take Hartsock and clear the main road. I'll try to gather up anyone I can find around here. I'll meet you on the beach and we'll try to link up with 4th Infantry.
Can we recruit that guy behind you? It might be worth it. He's very... I don't know. I got nothing. So, this is Hartsock,
Red! Fall in!
or Red,
Roger that!
because he has red hair. Obviously.
Set up there!
So, here we go. Now that we finally have someone under our command, you can see that you can move them around. This is all with one button, by the way. There's no menu. There's no like complexities. It is simple and easy, and the AI is quite smart. You can't just expect them to do everything, though. You actually have to manage them. You can't just like tell them to move behind cover and then expect them to readjust when they get flanked. That's not how this game works. Your squad is relying on your command, so they're not gonna do anything crazy. So here we go. We're gonna have set up here and then put a base of fire down. Red, what are you doing? Get behind cover. So now they're suppressed. Now it's a little bit safer for me to move around. Bam. Flawless.
Ceasefire! Fall in! Roger that!
That was perfect.
2020 eyes! No use in hiding!
So, yeah, that's how the game works, and the situations are pretty much different every time. They're not as straightforward as you'll see later on. And they mix it up a bit. Some levels we're going to get a tank, and eventually we'll have 2 squads, which is pretty awesome once it gets to that point. So earlier I said Red was lying about his morning spent, because the second game, like I was saying, you get to play as Red, and he did more than just spent his time in a ditch. We'll just say that right now. And I just popped that guy. That was surprising. Now, I'm not too good at this game, but this is one of those games that you can play entirely without any visual representations of stuff, because the audio of the game is really good. As you heard Red say earlier, he said they were suppressed. So if I was playing on authentic mode or without any of these command prompts indicators showing up, I would then know, well, they're suppressed. I can now flank. It's really cool when games do that. I think more games need to do that, because a lot of games really rely way too much on visual representation of things. I'm not saying they shouldn't. That looks good. What do you think, Red? I think he agrees. So, yeah. There's our objective. I think it's in the Twilight Zone. But yeah, some games, they rely way too much on visual representation, like with even this one with the compass and such. They don't give you any audio cues of where to go and whatnot, and I wish more games did that. Like, a good example is with Morrowind versus newer Elder Scrolls games. In Morrowind, everyone told you where to go, and they would give you directions, like real life. You know, they would actually tell you, oh, okay, like you take a right at the rock, and if you then if you see a tree with a face on it, you've gone too far. You need to turn around and like head back. Now in the newer Elder Scrolls games, they just give you a mark on the map, and you just go there, you do whatever you're supposed to do, done. It's really, it gets pretty stupid, I think, because sometimes they'll even say, I don't know where you need to go, but here's a mark on the map, and you just follow the compass, and there you go. And no, I don't like it when that's all there is. Having an audio,
Stay with me.
I think, an audio representation of things is the best way to do stuff. I don't know. That's just me. So, we're coming up to the end soon. Hi, guys. I'm probably gonna say this to every single character we come across, but these are like two of the best characters in the game.
Wasn't sure we were gonna see you guys. Been shooting at Germans coming off that beach all morning.
One poor bastard was trying to take a crap when Alan plugged him.
I swear, he was going for his gun.
We got this as well. Poor bastards had to put up a hell of a fight before a potato masher got the best of them. Browning 30 cal. Watch out for the blood on the trigger.
Alright.
Roger that.
So here's more parts of the game, sadly. I'm not saying it's not fun. This is a fun part of the game. However, it's not why we play the game. It's just here comes the turret suppression squad of the German army. Probably the most high casualty, but also with the most garrison, I bet, of the entire German army. Yeah, the audio is not good with those short bursts. Pretty much, this is a big old duck shoot. Not a lot to say. Now, another thing you can do is you can tell your AI, your squad mates, to charge like I just did right there, and pretty much they blitzkrieg it. They don't care about cover. They just go crazy. Which at some points in the game, like right now, it's pretty effective. I try not to do that myself because I find the game not as interesting than trying to actually find the flanks on the targets that I'm going up against. Yeah. And you know what always also impressed me was the number of characters they could have on screen, because the only other game that I could think of that had a lot of characters on screen at the time, for consoles anyways, I'm sure like PC they had like dozens, was Halo. The first Halo, Combat Evolved, but this game had quite a bit too, where you would have like 20 people on screen, and they were all AI, like doing their own thing. It was like, oh man, that was cool back in the day. What days those were. Let me end this level, and then I'll...
Baker, glad you're okay. Looks like the 4th ID has things under control. As soon as they start moving their equipment ashore, we'll get resupplied and move out. I've got to speak to HQ.
Red needs to
figure out
calm
where the hell
down.
the rest of our men are. Get some rest while you can. We got a long day ahead of us.
Yeah.
I understand the large hearts of heroes, the courage of present times. It's from a poem my dad used to read me as a kid. It amazes me that something so beautiful could be part of something so ugly.
Luckily, we're on Utah Beach, so it doesn't look as bad. Alright, so that will be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit that like and subscribe if you enjoyed that. And hopefully we will go through the rest of this game. I'm most likely going to, because I love this game so much. I think it needs more recognition for what it was, because it was a pretty good game. So, thank you again, and I'll see you next time.